Hey guys, and welcome back to Art Time with Mrs. Jones. Today we are going to be working on a really pretty Georgia O'Keeffe inspired flower picture. So we are going to be using her style of zooming in at the center point of the flower to really fill up the entire space. We do want to make sure that we keep things balanced, but we're going to emphasize that center point. So whenever you are ready, go ahead and get comfortable, grab your supplies, and we will get started. All right, so for today's Georgia O'Keeffe flower lesson, you will need a piece of white paper and something to color with. I am gonna use marker today, and I'm gonna blend that out with a paintbrush and water. If you don't have a paintbrush, you can even use a Q-tip. I also have a real flower here. Well, it's a fake flower, but it is an in-person flower. But I'm also gonna show you how you can search for a flower of your choice online. Here's that.
All right, I'm going to search for a flower in a Google search, and I'm going to type in flower, F-L-O-W-E-R. If you know the specific type of flower you're looking for, you can also type that in. I'm going to click on images, so it's only pulling up images of flowers, and I will scroll through and find a picture that I like. I'm going to be looking for something that is fairly symmetrical. That way I can really get that Georgia O'Keeffe style. Once you find a picture that you like, you can either click and save it, or you can just zoom in right there. You want to have the center of the flower fairly close to the middle. You can have it a little bit lower or a little bit higher, but you definitely want it to be in that midline somewhere. Once you have that saved, then it is time to replicate it on paper.
All right, so for my flower, I'm only going to need a handful of colors. So I'm gonna put these to the side here and just get started. Now, because I am zooming in on this flower, I want to fill up the space in its entirety. So I'm going to put a very large center of the flower right here. So I'm just gonna draw a yellow circle right here in the middle. And then I can add a little bit of texture with my yellow marker. And then for the depth, for that shading and shadow, I'm going to use brown. And I'm just gonna put a couple of texture lines in here. Again, this does not have to be perfect. Nothing in art is perfect. So just do your best with a few lines here and there, just so when it blends and bleeds together, it has a little bit of a variance in the color there. Now for the petals, I'm going to take my purple marker and I'm going to just do a gesture drawing of each of these lines outlining the petals that I can see in the picture. So these are not precise, they are not perfect, they are just giving the illusion of each of these petals that I see. Now around the edge of this yellow, it is darker, so I'm going to go in with some more gesture lines to give some depth to the center of the flower. I also want to get those stripes that are darker here and there throughout the petal as well. And then with the green, I will hit these spaces of green in the background here. Be very careful when you are blending these that you don't blend the purple and the green, or it will turn a little bit brownish. And now I will, just using a wet brush, start blending these out. Now I do want to start in the middle here, because if I use my purple and my green and then I try to go over the yellow, it's going to definitely change the color of this yellow center. So always start with your lightest color, and that is the yellow here. And I'm going to pull that yellow away from the edge, and it's going to start blending with that brown, creating a really interesting multicolored center. And you don't want to soak your paper here or it will end up getting really hairy looking. Now you'll take this clean brush and start going over the petals. And like we've talked about before, when you are using watercolor, this bleeding of the pigment into the paper is what creates the different shadows and variation of colors. So this is the fun part, watching those bleed out. And then lastly, I will go over this back green color and do a little bit of background. All right, so there is our finished Georgia O'Keeffe inspired flower picture. Now, remember, your colors and your blending and all of that might look a little bit different than mine, and that is perfectly fine. Your flower is probably not going to be the same image as mine. Once this dries, this darker area won't show up as much. And as you can see here, each time you do it, it might look a little bit different, but the overall illusion of a zoomed in flower is there. Now, if you don't have markers and you are going to be using maybe color pencil or crayon, or maybe you just prefer to do that in general, you can also do this with color pencil or crayon and they still turn out really pretty. So you do your best with whatever supplies you have and share your work with me so I can see your beautiful masterpiece. All right, guys, that is it for today. I cannot wait to see your little masterpiece. So please make sure you share your creations with me. These are really beautiful. They're really fun. And you can do this over and over again with different types of flowers. Each time you do it, share a picture with me because I'd love to see all of them. Until next time, guys, keep creating and I will see you soon. Love you. Bye.